How to stay calm when everyone tries to trigger you. In life, there will always be people who try to push your buttons, test your patience, and provoke a reaction just to see you lose control. But the real strength lies in staying calm when chaos surrounds you. As Evy Poumpouras says, emotional control is your greatest power. When someone tries to trigger you, understand this. They want your reaction because that reaction gives them control over you. The moment you stay calm, detached, and grounded, you win. Don't react, respond. Take a breath, observe, and choose your words wisely, because the person who can pause before responding holds the real power in any situation. Know your triggers, understand what irritates you, and train yourself not to be controlled by it. People can only press the buttons you make available. Shift your mindset from ego to purpose. Ask yourself, do I want to be right, or do I want to stay in control? When you stop letting your ego lead, you stop falling into emotional traps. Calmness is not weakness, it's silent dominance. The calm person owns the room, not the loudest one. Remember, silence and composure under pressure are what truly intimidate those who try to provoke you. When they get louder, get quieter. When they lose control, you stay centered. That's what separates strong minds from weak ones. Stay calm, stay focused, and let your peace become your greatest weapon. How to stay calm when everyone tries to trigger you. Evy Poumpouras, in a world full of emotional chaos, where people love to provoke, push boundaries, and test your patience, learning how to stay calm becomes your greatest form of power. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and one of the most composed and mentally strong women, teaches that emotional control isn't just a trait, it's a skill, a shield, and a strategy. When people try to trigger you, they're not testing your intelligence, they're testing your emotional balance. The goal isn't to stop people from being toxic or difficult, because you never will. The real goal is to master yourself so deeply that no one can steal your peace. Calmness, in moments of tension, is not weakness, it's quiet dominance. It's choosing not to be dragged into their emotional storm because you've learned to anchor yourself in stillness. The first rule to staying calm when everyone tries to trigger you is to detach emotionally. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop being controlled. Most people get reactive because they internalize everything. Someone insults you, and suddenly your self-worth feels attacked. But Evy teaches that emotional maturity means separating what's happening from how you feel about it. See things as they are, not as you fear them to be. When you learn to observe instead of absorb, you stop being a puppet to people's manipulation. It's about taking a step back mentally and asking, why does this bother me? What is this person trying to achieve? Once you understand that people who try to trigger you are often projecting their own insecurities, you'll start feeling compassion instead of anger, and that's how you disarm them completely. The second step is to respond, not react. Reactions are impulsive. They come from emotion. Responses are calculated. They come from awareness. The person who reacts first always loses power. The one who pauses, observes, and replies with calmness becomes untouchable. Evy often emphasizes controlling tone, body language, and breathing in high-pressure situations. When someone yells, lower your tone. When someone gets loud, you get quieter. That shift changes the entire dynamic. It shows control. Never let your emotions make your words stronger than your thinking. A calm mind is your biggest weapon in a world where everyone is ruled by impulse. Third, know your triggers. You cannot defend what you don't understand. Most people allow their triggers to be used against them because they've never taken time to identify them. Is it disrespect? Being ignored? Feeling misunderstood? Once you know what sets you off, you can start building emotional armor around it. Self-awareness is emotional self-defense. Evy says that when you become aware of your triggers, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. No one can manipulate you if they can't predict your reaction. Fourth, shift from ego to purpose. Most conflicts are ego battles disguised as moral fights. The need to prove yourself or win the argument only drains your energy. The calmest people are not those who win every argument. They're the ones who realize not every battle deserves their presence. Ask yourself, what's my purpose here? Do I want peace, or do I want to be right? When your ego drives you, chaos follows. When your purpose drives you, peace stays. Finally, understand that calmness is the loudest form of power. It's what separates the strong from the emotional. People expect you to explode, to match their chaos, to validate their drama, but when you stay calm, you frustrate them. Calmness is control disguised as stillness. It commands respect without shouting for it. Evy Poumpouras often says that composure under fire is what defines true strength. The next time someone tries to trigger you, remember, you don't owe anyone your reaction. Your peace is your responsibility. Protect it fiercely. Calm isn't passive. It's power in its purest form. When people try to humiliate you, stay silent and let your power speak. Evy Poumpouras. There comes a time in everyone's life when people will try to humiliate you, whether out of jealousy, insecurity, or the desire to see you lose control. They'll mock you, question your worth, and say things that sting deeply. But according to Evy Poumpouras, one of the strongest lessons you can ever learn is this: never let humiliation break your composure. Power doesn't come from reacting. It comes from staying centered when others try to drag you into the dirt. Silence, when used correctly, becomes the most powerful language in the room. The one who speaks out of emotion loses control. The one who stays calm and silent owns it. Evy teaches that the first thing to understand is that humiliation is never about you. It's about them. People who try to embarrass or belittle you are projecting their insecurities. Their goal is to make you feel small so they can feel important. When you internalize that, you stop taking their words personally. You realize that insults say more about the speaker than the listener. If someone publicly disrespects you, breathe, pause, and remember, your reaction determines whether they succeed or fail. The true test of strength isn't how loud you can get, but how still you can remain when your dignity is tested. You don't have to respond to everything. Sometimes, silence is the most strategic weapon. The second key is to control your body language. People can sense weakness not from what you say, but from how you carry yourself. Even when you feel shaken inside, maintain your posture, make calm eye contact, and keep your facial expression neutral. This doesn't mean you suppress emotion. It means you command it. Evy Poumpouras, trained to handle interrogations and hostile encounters, emphasizes that confidence is communicated non-verbally long before you open your mouth. The person who looks calm, collected, and composed cannot be humiliated. No matter what words are thrown at them, your silence and poise will make your mockers uncomfortable because they expect a reaction, and when they don't get it, their power collapses. Third, redefine what humiliation means to you. It only hurts when you believe what they say. The moment you stop seeking validation from others, their words lose their sting. People can only humiliate you when you let their opinions matter more than your self-belief. Evy often reminds people that emotional security is the true definition of confidence. When you know who you are, no one can tell you who you're not. If someone calls you weak, remember that staying silent when you could destroy them with words is the ultimate strength. If someone tries to belittle you, remind yourself quietly that they had to lower themselves to try and reach your level. Their attack is proof of your impact. The fourth step is to stay purpose-driven, not ego-driven. The ego wants revenge, the spirit wants peace. When you let your ego respond, you stoop to their level. When you let purpose lead, you rise above it. Ask yourself, what's my goal here? To prove them wrong, or to stay in control of myself? Every time you choose self-control over emotional reaction, you grow stronger. The calm person isn't indifferent. They're disciplined. They understand that peace is far more valuable than being right in an argument that doesn't even matter. Lastly, understand this truth. The calm and silent person always wins in the long run. People will forget what was said, but they will never forget how gracefully you handled it. Evy Poumpouras embodies that principle. She never fights to be heard. She lets her presence, her work, and her silence speak louder than any insult. Your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. It protects your dignity and amplifies your strength. When you stay silent in the face of humiliation, you're not ignoring the moment, you're controlling it. You're showing that no one has the power to shake your inner peace. Let people talk. Let them mock. Let them try. You just stand tall, stay calm, and let your silence do the talking, because that's the sound of true strength. Never share these 3 secrets. Protect your power and privacy. Evy Poumpouras. in a world where oversharing has become normal. Protecting your privacy is an act of self-respect and strength. Evy Poumpouras, known for her wisdom on human behavior and emotional intelligence, teaches that real power lies in what you don't reveal. The more people know about you, the more they can use against you. The less they know, the more mysterious and unpredictable you become. You don't owe anyone access to your mind, your emotions, or your private world. Silence isn't secrecy, it's strategy. There are 3 kinds of things you should never share: your weaknesses, your plans, and your personal life. Each one, when exposed, becomes a weapon in the wrong hands. Keeping them guarded is not about being cold or distant, it's about being wise. The first secret you must never share is your weaknesses and insecurities. When you reveal what hurts you, you give people the power to manipulate you emotionally. Evy Poumpouras often explains that people use information as leverage. Once someone knows what gets under your skin, whether it's rejection, criticism, or being ignored, they can easily control your reactions. Instead, learn to control your emotions internally. Let people see your confidence, not your vulnerability. Vulnerability is valuable, but only when shared with people who have earned your trust, not those who simply demand it. Your pain, your fears, your struggles, these are sacred. Protect them. Not everyone who listens to you cares for you. Some are just collecting information. The second secret to keep private is your plans and goals. Many people talk about what they're going to do before they've even taken the first step. But Evy teaches that true power moves in silence. The more you speak about your plans, the more you invite interference, jealousy, and negative energy. Let your actions make the announcement, not your words. When you share your vision too early, people can discourage you, copy you, or quietly hope you fail. Protect your ambitions the way you'd protect a newborn. Shield them until they're strong enough to face the world. Quiet progress is the most dangerous kind of progress because no one sees it coming. Success built in silence is impossible to sabotage. The third and most important secret is your personal and emotional life. Your relationships, your family matters, your struggles. These are not public stories. The more you share, the more you invite opinions and interference. People will judge, twist, and gossip about things they don't even understand. Evy Poumpouras says that privacy is power because it keeps your emotional energy focused on growth, not defense. When you keep your private life private, you maintain control over your narrative. You're no longer living for approval or sympathy. The most powerful people are the ones whose lives are calm on the surface, but rich and full behind closed doors. You don't need to prove your happiness, love, or success online or to others. Let people wonder how you do it. That mystery is power. Remember, oversharing often comes from insecurity, the desire to be understood, validated, or admired. But Evy reminds us that confident people don't explain themselves. They simply live their truth quietly. The less you reveal, the more control you have. Keep your emotions measured, your dreams guarded, and your struggles private. People can only use what they know, so give them nothing to use. Privacy is not isolation, it's intelligent protection of your peace. In the end, protecting your secrets isn't about distrust. It's about discipline. Your silence is your shield. Every time you resist the urge to overshare, you strengthen your boundaries. When people wonder how you remain calm, focused, and unbothered, that's when you've mastered the art of private power. As Evy Poumpouras says, you don't have to tell your story for it to be powerful. Keep your weaknesses hidden, your plans silent, and your private life sacred, and watch how untouchable you become. What women must keep private. Never tell everything. Evy Poumpouras. In a world obsessed with exposure, where people proudly share every detail of their lives online, true power lies in restraint. According to Evy Poumpouras, privacy isn't about hiding. It's about protecting your peace, your dignity, and your strength. A high-value woman understands that not everything deserves to be spoken or shared. The less people know about your life, your emotions, and your decisions, the more control you hold over your reality. The moment you start telling everyone everything, you invite unnecessary opinions, energy, and judgment into your space. The truth is, people can't destroy what they don't know. What women must understand is that privacy is not secrecy, it's self-respect. You do not owe explanations, justifications, or confessions to anyone who hasn't earned your trust. Evy Poumpouras often says that a powerful woman is one who moves with quiet confidence. She doesn't need to broadcast her plans, her struggles, or her emotions to feel seen. She lets her actions speak for her. The first thing every woman should keep private is her personal life, her relationships, family issues, or private struggles. Not everyone who listens cares, some only listen to gossip later. Once your private matters become public knowledge, they lose their sacredness. A relationship built in privacy thrives on trust and intimacy. But once you let the world in, opinions begin to poison the bond. Protect your love life by keeping it between you and your partner. People can't ruin what they don't see. The happiest women are often the quietest about their personal lives because they understand that peace grows in silence. The second thing women must keep private is their emotional world. It's okay to feel deeply, but not everyone deserves access to your emotions. When people know what makes you sad, angry, or insecure, they can use it against you. Evy teaches that composure is a form of power. The more you can manage your emotions without external validation, the stronger you become. People respect mystery, they lose interest in what's predictable. When you keep your feelings private, you control the narrative. You decide who deserves your vulnerability and who only gets your calmness. In a world where everyone overshares to feel connected, emotional discipline makes you rare. Remember, being mysterious isn't about manipulation, it's about self-protection. The third thing to keep private is your financial and career goals. Not every dream or achievement needs to be announced. The more you talk, the more you expose yourself to jealousy, competition, and interference. Evy Poumpouras says, "Move quietly, let success make the noise." A woman who operates in silence builds momentum that no one can sabotage. When you tell people your next step, they'll either discourage you or secretly hope you fail. Let your results surprise them. Quiet confidence is more powerful than loud ambition. Build privately, succeed gracefully, and let your work speak for itself. The fourth thing women must guard is their pain and healing process. You owe no one the details of your emotional scars. Healing is a sacred process, and sharing it with people who can't handle it only reopens your wounds. Not everyone deserves access to your vulnerability. Evy's wisdom reminds us that the strongest women are not those who never fall. They're the ones who rise quietly, rebuild privately, and reappear stronger. You don't have to post your pain to prove your strength. The quieter your comeback, the louder your success. Lastly, your peace should always remain private. Protect your routines, your mindset, your quiet joys. Not everyone deserves to know what makes you happy. Keep your peace away from those who thrive on chaos. The more peaceful your inner world becomes, the less you'll feel the need to prove anything externally. A woman who guards her privacy commands respect without asking for it. Her silence becomes her elegance, and her mystery becomes her magnetism. Evy Poumpouras teaches that the essence of feminine power lies in emotional control and self-respect. A woman who keeps her private life sacred is untouchable, because no one truly knows where to attack. When you talk less, observe more, and act with intention, you rise above the noise. So, never tell everything. Let people wonder. Let your silence protect your soul. In a world that wants to know everything about you, staying private is your greatest form of power. How high value women handle toxic people. Evy Poumpouras, a high value woman doesn't waste her energy trying to fix, impress, or argue with toxic people. She understands that peace is more valuable than being right, and that not everyone deserves her reaction. Evy Poumpouras, known for her strength, emotional intelligence, and experience under extreme pressure, teaches that real power is found in self-control. Toxic people thrive on chaos, manipulation, and emotional reactions. They feed off your attention. The moment you stop reacting, you take away their power. A high-value woman handles toxicity not with aggression, but with grace, boundaries, and silence. She knows her worth, and because of that, she refuses to let anyone drag her down to their level. The first rule Evy emphasizes is emotional detachment. Toxic people try to provoke emotional responses to make you look unstable while they play the victim. But the high-value woman remains composed. She observes instead of reacting, analyzes instead of assuming, and chooses calmness over chaos. Detachment doesn't mean indifference, it means emotional maturity. It's the ability to say, I see what you're trying to do, but I won't participate. The less you explain or defend yourself to toxic people, the more control you have. They crave drama, and your silence becomes their starvation. The second principle is setting firm boundaries. High-value women don't tolerate disrespect disguised as honesty, or manipulation disguised as concern. Evy Poumpouras teaches that boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. You don't shut people out, you protect your energy by choosing who gets access to it. Toxic people test boundaries to see how much they can control you. The high-value woman calmly enforces limits. I won't discuss this. I'm not available for that energy. Or simply walking away without explanation. Boundaries are not rude, they're self-respect in action. Every time you say no to something toxic, you say yes to your peace. Third, never engage in emotional competition. Toxic people love turning everything into a power game. Who's louder, angrier, or more dominant? But high-value women don't compete for control, they hold it effortlessly. When someone tries to provoke you, stay grounded. Evy teaches that the calmer person always has the upper hand. If they shout, lower your tone. If they insult, respond with silence. Power is not in dominance, it's in composure. A woman who refuses to fight on someone else's emotional level instantly disarms them. You win not by out-arguing them, but by refusing to enter their game. The fourth strategy is limiting access and emotional exposure. Toxic people don't just drain your time, they drain your peace. High-value women understand that distance is a form of self-care. You can love people from afar, wish them well, and still remove them from your energy field. Evy Poumpouras says that you don't need to announce your departure. Just quietly step back. Protect your emotional privacy. Don't share your goals, your plans, or your struggles with people who secretly compete with you. Not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Protect your energy like it's currency, because it is. Lastly, choose peace over proving your point. A high-value woman knows that not every insult deserves a response, and not every attack deserves a defense. Silence, when used wisely, is more powerful than words. Evy often reminds us that composure under fire is what defines true strength. The high-value woman's calmness confuses toxic people because they expect emotional chaos. Instead, she responds with elegance, self-control, and indifference. She understands that sometimes walking away is not weakness, it's wisdom. You don't have to destroy toxic people, you just stop feeding them. In the end, Evy Poumpouras' message is clear: don't try to change toxic people, change your reaction to them. The high-value woman doesn't get pulled into other people's dysfunction. She maintains her focus, protects her emotions, and never allows negativity to define her day. When faced with toxicity, she stands tall, stays silent, and lets her peace speak louder than their noise. That's what true strength looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, but calm, confident, and completely unbothered.